Thank you. Good evening to whoever is in the room. So, we're talking about child marriage, causes and consequences. Officially, it has been referred to any formal marriage or informal union between a child under the age of 18 and an adult or another child. Despite what we've seen as a steady decline of this harmful practice, it still remains very much widespread all over the world. And as we know, the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals calls for a global action to end child marriages by 2030. According to Save the Children, we have 40 million girls worldwide who are currently married or in a union. According to Girls Not Brides, 12 million girls are married before the age of 18 every year. Right now, according to the estimates by UNICEF, South Asia is home to 290 million child brides. But first, let me introduce to you Professor Pratibha Mahanamaheva, and he will be presenting on the legal and policy framework of child marriages. Professor Mahanamaheva holds a doctorate, master's, and bachelor's degree in law from the universities of Australia and Sri Lanka, an attorney at law in Sri Lanka's Supreme Court. He was a senior lecturer and former human rights commissioner. He represented Sri Lanka at the 39th UNHRC session in Geneva. Professor, could we have you on stage, please? And in the interest of time, I'm going to now hand over to Professor Pratibha to please continue with his first presentation to us.
Very good evening. I am going to present today the legal and policy framework of child marriage. So, if you see, girls are not brides, they are not commodity. They have every right as a human being. We have the global framework, 1948 Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 16, they say full age needed for marriage, as well as forced marriages, slavery, all are banned. So, we are talking about SDG, as the presenter said, 2030 we have to achieve. If you see, basically, the state obligation is there for every state. There are 193 UN member countries, all member countries. We are giving a pledge, eliminate the practice of child marriage. UNFP, UNICEF, they have 2016 together with UNFPA launch a global program to tackle child marriage in 12 of the most high prevalence countries, including Bangladesh and Ethiopia, Ghana, India, Mozambique, Nepal, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Uganda, Yemen, Zambia. Luckily, Sri Lanka, we are not in this list. And regional framework is there. That is 1990 African Charter of the Rights of Welfare of Children. That is Article 21. Child marriage and brothels are prohibited. And laws are there. They have come up. At the moment, 1996, South African Constitution, which really protecting child rights. And also European Union, the European Convention on Human Rights, prohibition of child marriages and child protection. SARC, we are in the SARC countries. Do you know there is a charter? In that Convention on Regional Arrangement, the promotion of child welfare in South Asia, a profile of child marriage South Asia. Selected countries, Thailand. But 2019, they had a Nairobi summit. They decided reduce the early marriage below 18 years. Even they don't have a law. And Australia, 1961, Marriage Act, it say less than 18 illegal. But under certain circumstances, there can be rape cases and all. Then if you see London Girls Summit, July 2014, the government signed the charter committing end child marriage. Iran, under the Civil Code 2007, marriage before the age of majority is prohibited. And also members of Culture Commission, they are trying to give for religious scholars and Article 2041. Saudi Arabia is committed to end child marriages, forced marriages, 2030. They are going for target. And also India, their constitutional background, protection of children, and also Article 21, child marriages infringe upon the right of self-determination. And also they have a very good law. Sri Lanka, we don't have this. The Prohibition of Child Marriage Act 2006. Act to provide the prohibition of solemnization of child marriages and for matters connected thereto. So Sri Lanka, this is a good example. Minimum age that the Muslim girl or boy can get married under MMDA, not 12 years. Not 12 years. Hence the minimum age of marriage Sri Lanka Muslim is technically 0. That is a cultural effect, right? So thank you very much. Listen to this speech. Okay.
Thank you, Professor Pratibha. Can I now invite Hishama to present from the learnings for child marriages in Muslim families in Batticaloa and Ampara? Next, we have Ms. Hishama Hameen, who will be presenting Sri Lanka's latest study, Learnings from Child Marriages in Muslim Families in Batticaloa and Ampara, which was a study that was done by Amiza Tegal, Hassana Isadeen, and Nadia Ismail in December 2023. Hishama is a researcher and activist with over 15 years of experience in women's rights, focusing on family law reform. She leads the global campaign for equality in family law, advocating for reform in Asia, the Middle East, and Latin America and Africa. She is the co founder of Muslim Personal Law Reform Action Group, along with the authors of this study that she is going to present. Hishama.
Thank you so much, Shanuki, for the introduction, and to FPA for this opportunity to share this research study today. I'm going to be presenting learnings from child marriage in Muslim families in Batticaloa and Ampara. Child marriage within the Muslim communities, as we've heard from our previous speaker, is allowed under the Muslim Marriage and Divorce Act. As it currently stands, there's no minimum age. There's even an exception for the age of 12. So this study, based on 2 districts and a few cases, about 3 cases from Colombo, the primary objective was to gain a deeper insight, into and disseminate the findings regarding the prevalence, the characteristics, the narratives surrounding child marriage within Muslim communities in 3 specific districts. It was really interesting because of the 27 cases interviewed and conducted in languages of the respondents, 14 case studies were collected from Ampara, 10 in Batticaloa, and 3 in Colombo. So from Ampara, 14 girls between 18 to 23 years were interviewed. From Batticaloa, 10 young women between 17 to 25 years were interviewed, and they have been married prior to the age of 18. Child brides, all of them interviewed, had poor educational attainments, and none of the young women, both in Ampara and Batticaloa, had completed their O-levels. Child marriage also took place in impoverished households. Only 7 out of the 27 cases involved a bride who was in a relationship with the groom, and the rest were decided by primarily male family members. According to the report, in all cases, families faced difficulties that caused them to choose giving their children in marriage, primarily because of economic and poverty factors. 11 out of 27 women are currently divorced. 10 are separated from their husbands. So these child marriages majority of them did not end so-called happily. The main reasons for divorce and separation, among others, included drug addiction, non-maintenance, abuse and physical violence, and other relationships or marriages outside of the primary one. Child marriages that have ended in divorce and separation have led to young women continuously, having problems in terms of access to justice and having to pursue legal action to secure relief, compensation, maintenance. Domestic violence was also seen as much a part of the married lives of these young girls. Data from a 2011 UNFPA report that's titled Extent, Trends and Determinants of Teenage Pregnancy in 3 districts in Sri Lanka revealed that, and I quote, an increased risk for teenage pregnancy was observed when the ethnicity of the woman or spouse was Muslim. Girls who marry young, and this will probably come up in the next presenters section, but they do face a grave risk of reproductive and maternal health issues as well. It's crucial that it's raised to 18 without exception, without any delay. All in all, there's a systemic failure for Muslim women and girls in this country, beginning with law, then going on to policy, and then going on to societal awareness. And this needs to be remedied with urgency. Thank you.